We took up that presentation. Yeah. Mention it. Yes. All right. Just said one. I will call the regular council meeting of Tuesday, January 13th to order. Hastings County is situated on treaty land that is rich in indigenous history and home to many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. We honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. Can everyone hear? All right. Thank you. I need a motion that the agenda for the regular council meeting held on January 13th be adopted as presented.
I'll move.
I'll second it. All in favor? Carried. Does anyone have disclosure of interest? Great. We'll go into deputations. We've got a couple of statements to read here. Further to the resignation of Dean Graff from the Ward 1 council position here in Stirling Rawdon and subsequent vacancy declared by council at the December 16th, 2025 council meeting. We have decided to pursue appointing a person through application process to fill the vacant office for the remainder of the council term. The application period opened on December 17th, 2025 and closed on Tuesday, January 6th, 2 p.m. We received 6 applications from qualified candidates. 2 of those applicants have since withdrawn from the council vacancy appointment process. All of the certified candidates have been invited to this council meeting to make the presentation to council as to why they should be appointed and their relative experience. 5 minutes shall be allotted for each candidate in order to ensure a fair, effective, and efficient process. Applicants will be called upon in alphabetical order by last name to provide their presentation to council. Following each applicant's presentation, council members may ask questions of each applicant. There will be no questions or comments from members of the public or media. These presentations are an exchange of information between members of council and the candidates, which the members of the public and media are invited to witness. Unruly behavior or comments from the public will not be tolerated. All in attendance are reminded that they are to be respectful of the process of the participants. Later on at this meeting of council, we will move into a closed session to deliberate and select a successful candidate who will be appointed as the Ward 1 councillor for the township of Stirling Rawdon. With the resolution of appointment to be reported out in open session. I have the first candidate, David Black, has withdrawn. Second applicant was Grant Hagan. Grant, welcome.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
Morning.
Morning, staff. I'm a lifelong resident of Ward 1, Stirling Rawdon. He owns and operates Midwell Farms. I served 3 terms on Stirling Rawdon Council from 2010 to 2022. 2 terms as Ward 1 councillor and the 3rd term as deputy mayor. I attended all preparatory training for elected officials that included all meeting protocols and rules. As listed on my application, over the 12 years, I served on a variety and numerous council and regional committees. During my time in office, I treated all documentation and deliberations confidentially until they became public information. Attended all seminars related to municipal bylaws and policies. Advocated as part of a council team, other levels of government for funding and grant approvals. Worked collaboratively in a professional manner with council members and staff through the mayor and CAO. Always approached council members, staff, and residents in a professional, respectful, friendly manner. Using a timely response framework, I was able to listen, discuss residents' questions and concerns. If I could not immediately respond to the questions or concerns, I would diligently seek the required information and respond to the resident as soon as possible. My communication with the resident would be based on factual evidence, information, and data with respect to any discussion and decision council approved. Attendance at all meetings and events was exemplary and would continue to be so if appointed. By thoroughly reviewing all documentation, I was completely prepared for all meeting discussions and motion voting. Since my decision not to run for council in 2022, I have taken an active interest in the council's discussions and decisions. I believe because of the relevant background that I have described in the presentation and in the application submitted, it would be a relatively seamless transition to this council appointment, without a steep learning curve for me to be knowledgeable on current council deliberations. As I had demonstrated in previous terms, I will take tremendous pride and work diligently on behalf of the residents of Stirling Rawdon.
Thank you. Does anyone on council have questions for Grant? You're not Grant.
No questions?
Thank you. Appreciate your input today.
Thank you for listening.
Matthew Keating.
Morning, folks.
Morning, Martin.
The chair. Well, Sean, my name's Matt Keating. I've lived here over 30 years. Worked in the agriculture sector and transportation sector as well. The thing is that we gotta get back to reality. I just don't know how to explain things better than that. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to see done, but roads, definitely roads, taxes gotta come down somehow. You gotta find ways to kind of work both ways and reducing taxes and maintain what we got. But I don't know, this is really getting difficult. But we gotta get away from this political correctness and call a spade a spade. Right, wrong, or otherwise. But you gotta be polite when you do it as well. It's like I said, we gotta get our taxes down, get our roads better. One way or the other, gotta start coming down. We can't keep up with the Joneses. We gotta look after ourselves first. And then maybe get ideas from other places or different areas to work with. Well, we gotta get back to reality. We can't keep going where we're going. Eventually, we're gonna be taxed to death. And municipalities ain't gonna have no money for nothing. There's no reason to pay the tax bills. We gotta figure out how to get this, when we really get this under control. But Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I like to see done. I can't promise the world, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna. But I can only do what I can do and work with the people I can work with. That's basically all I got to say, really. As short as this is, that's basically it.
Pretty clear, everybody understood your message, and I think
I don't think it or not.
understanding and being able to correct it are two different issues, unfortunately. Kevin, no. You go by Kevin.
Yes. Morning, Mayor, but also. I'll just go into a little bit of my background as far as business goes. I'm a retired plant manager of 22 years. Started with a plant mill, a very plant startup from the ground up. I was instrumental in developing all of the policies, procedures, hiring, installation equipment, et cetera, et cetera. I'm very familiar with P&Ls, budgets, line items, et cetera, et cetera. I was a member of the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce for 5 years as the manufacturing rep. I was also on the QMA, Quitting Manufacturers Association, for 15 years on the steering committee. That was committee through the Economic Development Commission, Chris Kane. As far as background goes, I moved to Stirling, grade 3 to 6 here. When I turned 19 and got married, my wife and I relocated here and raised our family for 20 years here in Stirling. We moved out to Quincy West, just outside of Stirling, for 20 years. We recently moved back, and I'm looking forward to working in council if the opportunity comes up. My roots are deep here. My father was born in a train station in West Huntington on December 25th, 2024. My mother was a West, born at the Evergreen Cheese Factory, where my grandfather John West was the head cheesemaker. You may remember the West from the Stirling Creamery. Blair was the owner, and Bob and Dick took over before they sold to Gately. And that's about it.
Well, that's a lot.
Maybe you should write a book sometime.
Yeah.
Any questions for Kevin?
Thank you.
Thank you. Martin.
Hello, everybody. Morning, Marvin. Note 0 to 3-2. I don't like winging in too much. So, my name is Marvin Malloy. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to make the application to join council. I work full-time at Procter & Gamble in Belleville. My wife Robin is a PSW at the Stirling Manor, and together we run a small farming operation near Harold. I am trained as an industrial electrician. I did this for 12 years, then transitioned to a mechanical maintenance technician. I did this for 2 years until the opportunity to take a leadership role presented itself. I led both the electrical and maintenance teams, then became involved in the design phase of new product platform where I worked multiple teams across multiple disciplines. This provided me with a chance to collaborate with multinational groups and to lead the installation, startup, and commissioning of the latest equipment platforms for Procter & Gamble and Belleville. All with a primary focus on safety, of course. Most recently, I have been the lead for a new technical support group organization, leading again mechanical, electrical, and now process groups. I believe that all these experiences have trained me to be rapidly adaptable and quick study, learning new systems and maintenance practices. I expect that I'll be able to leverage these learnings and adaptability to be a key member of council. Although I have much to learn, again, my previous experiences have trained me to be able to learn on the fly. My most recent project includes the development of an AI chatbot for a P&G manufacturing site. This will be the first one in North America for our employer. I alone initiated this with the intent of improving productivity that will help ensure that we as a manufacturing site will remain globally competitive. This strategy does not eliminate jobs, but it's just the opposite. It will allow us to be more responsive and boost our productivity by working smarter. I enjoyed 35 years with this company. I wanted to do my small part to ensure that the next group of workers can enjoy the same longevity if they choose. I am registered with the AMO to take advantage of the online training courses for new counselors. As I said, I am currently employed full-time. I have recently arranged with my employer to have a flexible work schedule. This will ensure that I will be able to meet all the obligations of a counselor. I have been attending the meetings since March of last year, mostly the evening meetings, as you know. And I was preparing to start attending the standing committee meetings with my new flexible work schedule in the new year to learn and prep for the fall elections. However, with the recent surprise resignation, I am looking forward to the challenges that this presents if I am chosen. Fostering the three key roles of a counselor, representing ward residents, policymaker, and stewardship. I have two key themes that I want to bring to council. Of course, I would like to do this as a council member. But if not chosen this time, I look for someone on council with a like interest to share the themes and details with them to promote those ideas. Any questions? Great, thank you, guys.
The last candidate has also withdrawn his name. We will be going into caucus at the end of this meeting and making a decision on if we come up with a result at that time. Everyone is welcome to stay. I can't say how long. There's quite a bit on the agenda, but everybody's welcome to listen. All will receive those.
Second.
Very. This time.
Yeah. Ron, even Tony Rapp, the little strip of snow we had this morning, so.
No, that's fine. We had hoped to present some long-term awards, but the employees are on the trucks. Save that for another day. Public input. At this time, it's set aside for on each agenda of each regular meeting, permit anyone in attendance to speak on any issue on the agenda. And will be limited to 3 minutes. Just ask the speaker, do not speak disrespectfully of any council member, staff member, or any other person. If there are any questions from the audience? You know?
What did you just say? I didn't hear a word you said.
It's public input. Did you have a question on today's agenda?
I don't have the agenda, so I can't ask the questions.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Apparently. We're giving them a go. Sorry about that. I don't realize the mic is on. 6.1. Yes.
So is public input now on items that are later on in this agenda, or can we?
On the current agenda.
So, a group of us are here in regards to your special policy. And we have,
Chair.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can come up.
Okay.
So a group of us are here in regards to your special events policy that you have here today. And we have some concerns in regards to liability, expectations, and so forth. And I certainly am going to go to individuals that have come that we all run special events of one sort, whether it be markets, whether it be water buffalo festivals or so forth. And I think we understand the 4 of us have taken the road closure course, directed by the municipality in taking it. And we understand what our needs are in that regards. But I guess, and we all have insurance to some degree, each of the clubs, and I can only speak for Rotary as I'm a member of Rotary. But I don't think you're going to find an individual to take full responsibility if we're using like closing Mill Street, take full responsibility as it's stated here in the policy of anything that may happen. I understand about property damage, municipal property damage. Absolutely, you know, it's our responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. But if somebody trips, falls, you know, we make every effort to make sure there are no trip hazards or there are no opportunities for things along that line to happen. But for us to take, for an individual like myself, to take on the responsibility if something happens and being liable to that, you know what, I'm stepping back. And I think you're gonna find that with the majority of the individuals that do organize these events, that they're gonna step back. Events are very important within this community. It brings people near and far here that certainly exposes our businesses and brings business to these businesses within our community. But, you know, we are not in a position to want to take on that type of liability as individuals just trying to help the community. And as you all know, the service groups within this community, any funds that we make goes back into the community. Every dime of it goes back into the community, and I can speak on Rotary with the covered bridge, with the station park, the covered classroom at the school. Those are funds that we pay for these things with our fundraising. And if our hands are going to be tied, those things aren't going to happen, which then is going to fall on the municipality to pay for or not do. So those are my concerns, and I certainly look at the individuals that are here with me if they have any further comments. But those are currently the concerns of organizers of events and markets within this community. So thank you.
No, thank you for your sharing that information. This is a obviously a new policy and will require some discussion, but when we get to that, we'll discuss it. Are there any other comments? Thank you. You welcome public. Apart from Facebook. 6.1. The proclamation request from the Alzheimer's Society, Council hereby proclaims January 2020. That's Alzheimer's Awareness Month.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Favor. Believe we have the flag, is it not already?
We do not have one.
We don't have a flag.
We do not have a guy.
Well, that explains it.
Should we get one?
Through to the chair, yeah, we've reached out to the society asking.
7.1, I have a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 16, 2025 be adopted as presented.
I'll move.
Seconded.
Second.
Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor? 7.2, the minutes of the Stirling Rawdon Public Library Board meeting held on November 19th, 2025 be received and moved to that days.
I'll move.
I'll second.
May I ask
You
if
want to
there's
speak to
anything?
that?
There's nothing. Andy has joined the library board as the newest member. I think that happened at this meeting, might have been the meeting before that. Proving to be a very good member of the board. Lots of good suggestions, and I don't think there was anything else. Anything really important on.
All in favor? Great. 8.1, that the building inspection service report for December 2025 be received. Vote for that, please.
I'll move.
Seconder,
A second.
all in favor? Yes, most of the statistics. The bylaw enforcement service board report for December 2025 be received as presented.
I'll move.
I'll second them.
All in favor? Carried. Carolyn, you want to take us?
8.3, and I move it for the fire chief's report
for December be received.
Second.
Derek?
Yeah. Morning, Mayor and Council, Chair, through the Chair. So we've had, through the month of December, had some good news from different resources. One thing was our fire protection grant has got approved. So we'll be purchasing with a joint effort with the Tweed Fire Department. We put our funds together and we purchasing a SCBA washer, which is something we don't have. It's something we really need. It will wash our air packs after a couple major calls and stuff. They're very hard to clean. This machine will actually put them in. It's like a big commercial type dishwasher type thing. It comes in, it'll wash the bottles, the tanks, disinfect them. It also does our helmets, boots, gloves, where we have been able to do them properly now. And with the cancer prevention, it's been a great grant given to us. We've bought through this same grant, our extractors and dryers to make us more efficient in our cleanups after calls for decon. And with the cancers and the different carcinogens and stuff that these guys face from that, it's a great step forward. Another thing that we did receive, was on previous report from the Royal Canadian Legion. We received our medical fund grant, and it's a great. They purchased us 2 new monitors, so they're digital monitors for doing blood pressure, oxygen, temperature, and stuff. So when we get on site, instead of digging through all the stuff, we have one machine, we'll be able to slap it on. So if anybody's seen the ones in the hospital, the type of the little unit you see there where they hook on you, they've purchased us 2 of those, which is amazing for us to be able to have that. And it's just more professional, shows the heart rate and all that kind of stuff, which is a great expansion for us in that. And we thank the Legion greatly for that. They also bought us another power suction. So if we're doing a choking incident or a VSA call, we'll have actually have automatic suction before we have a hand pump that didn't work great. With the new suction didn't work great. So great thanks to the work that the Legion's doing. It's been amazing support over the years. They've bought us tons of different stuff over the year, and we greatly thank them for that. We're actually doing a presentation with them tomorrow. Just if there's anybody available tomorrow to do a presentation at 10 o'clock with the Legion, we're putting that presentation for the equipment tomorrow. So great thanks to like I said, our resources, and it's been great that way. We've got also another thing is our emergency management. We finished our tabletop exercise for the year, sent in for our compliance, so that's all been sent in and been looked after. We said over the Christmas holidays we were fairly busy with a number of different calls and different things, and we are looking forward to this year. We have our certification coming ahead this year. We're due for in July. We have to have our certification completed. That's the deadline for firefighters to have their firefighter 1, firefighter 2, and their hazmat. And we have Rich has been working very hard. He's going to start on January the 19th. He starts his first course for hazmat, and then he's going to do the instructor course. That's the one of the stipulations for the officers. And after he finishes them 2, he'll be starting into doing firefighter 2 and a pump ops course. And then there's one more hazmat he'll be running before July. So it's been our firefighters. They do a lot of work. They put a lot of time in, and we thank them for it. But this is stipulations that we put down us to have the certification. We're in pretty good shape. And then thanks to Rich and our team and all our firefighters and their families that allow them to come and do the support. Our department and our municipality has been great. Been a great resource for our community. We're very lucky to have the department that we do, and the folks, the men and women that do are awesome, and their families that support them. So that's where we're working towards for July. So we got a busy spring and summer coming up, and everything is going well from there. So.
Just one question there. The washer that we're buying with Tweed, is it a portable unit or does it live in Stirling? Or
yeah, it'll be living in Stirling here in the thing, and we'll build transport back and forth with the equipment. And hopefully next year we'll do the same training, and we'll put one in Tweed next year. But they're an expensive piece of equipment that we haven't been able to afford for sure. And this new grant that come out, they doubled the grant this year from the Ontario Fire Marshal's office and of course from the government. But it's been a great piece of equipment that we'll have here. I said, if you have turn our time around, when we used to wash air packs, it would probably take us somewhere in an hour to probably sit there and do like 3 or 4 air packs, scrub them down, and they weren't getting as clean as what we can get them with this machine. It sits in there, the complete unit sits in there, It takes 8 minutes to do a cycle and they come out and you wouldn't believe we've taken them over, there's other departments that have them. We've taken our packs to their department, washed them before we took them over there. Put them back and stuff that comes out of it's incredible. So we're really excited about that. This piece of equipment. It's gonna turn our time around because it does take a long time to wash gear and dry it. You're looking, you know, it was usually about 3 days and now we're gonna be down to like 1 a day. We can turn our gear all over, wash it, clean it, dry it with the dryers and stuff. And it's been great help. So,
Anyone have any questions for Derek?
Couple of things, Derek.
Yeah.
The presentation tomorrow, where's that location?
right here, yeah.
I won't be able to come at that county, meeting, so, you know, then we'll. Council was available, that was great.
What time?
10 o'clock.
And the other second, I see that you did some training on the Who's Responding app.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to explain that, seeing as we've got some members of the public here,
Yeah.
how that works? And what
So
it is?
we have who's responding, so we carry pagers, the guys and girls usually carry a pager around for response in the middle of the night. I don't know if anybody's families have heard them go off, they're great to go off in the middle of the night. But we also have an app that we have on our phone, which is called Who's Responding. The Who's Responding is also, it's a kind of a backup for that. Once our tones go off, it'll go to your phone too, and then you know we have a call. From that, we also know from there, the guys and girls, they respond if they're making the station or going to the hall or where they're going. So I can look on this app or one of the officers or any of them, and everybody knows where everybody is, and it actually maps the person's where their location is. And then if I know I've got 10 people coming to a medical call, then no, we can stand it down kind of thing to save response time. Or if it's a call, then we know we've got enough people, or if we don't have enough people, then we know enough that we can call out for our mutual aid partners to come in, whether it be Center Hastings, Martin, Belleville, Quinny West, you know, kind of whoever we need to come in. From that, it's a great tool that we have. It also gives us reports too, so we know when there's response times and stuff, same as our dispatch. It's just a backup, very good backup for the other thing. And sometimes, you know, it's hard carrying a pager if you're going to an event or a meeting or something like that, where you can silence your phone kind of thing and you can see that come up. So it's just it's another tool. It's a pretty reasonable tool to have. It has many different things on it that we can use. We send out for messaging to the guys and girls. If there's an event coming up or something we need response times, it's a great tool that we have at their disposal with some extras. So the pager tells you when you got a call. This year you can go in and look and respond, and you can, if you're out of service, if you're done or something like that, you can respond to the calls and whatever. It's you can tell them to come here or you're out of advance. Great tools.
Yes.
Right, Jeremy, you want to do 8.4?
Okay, I'll go on to the Public Works Manager's report for December. Motion with the Public Works Manager report for December being received.
I'll move.
I'll second Caroline, a second by Don. Then we'll call on George to.
Good morning, Mayor, Council, and guests. We have the report here in front of you for the activities for December. First heading is maintenance. What was done to any equipment. If you have any questions, free to ask me, and we'll answer your question.
We've got that truck back on the road, the one at the heart.
Yeah, the truck is back and going, and as of last night, we had a couple trucks down, one's back, another truck has gone down this morning. Later today.
Anybody have anything else?
Our next heading is the road maintenance. Any questions on what went on for the month there?
Just a brief comment on the, if you want to comment on the frost free circle problems with potholes. This kind of weather.
Yeah, the frost free cycles. Any municipalities having troubles with that when you get thawed out like that, the roads all blow apart. Unfortunately, it's not like the old days where they used to freeze up and they stay there till thaw in the spring. And with all the traffic and everything now, we tend to find the weak parts in the road, so we can't do much till it freezes back up. And then yesterday, we were out trying to grade what we can and patch, and so it's a real Mother Nature wins, and it's just a real battle to get these warm stretches. And next we have building maintenance. Now I put on here electrician installed stacked over the street light in front of the theater. There's a wire, the wire. That was planned. I'm not sure. I haven't even talked to them. We have to get the wire ran to it. The old wire was was the reason that, the deck was late to fail.
Is that the one across from the theater on the north side?
No, it's right beside the theater, the next building just past the theater house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that power supply to that light just comes off the roof of that building. So, yeah. And then we had administration, there's all things going on, Mr. Administration lately. Questions, and then, parks maintenance, I think, everybody knows we're having a little trouble making ice in any of the rinks that we put up with the way weather's.
Yeah, thanks for keeping the rig cleaned up, or just the weather not cooperating just yet to make ice.
And then, next is our inquiries, just a list of any inquiries we've had in the last little while.
Sorry, George, just going back to the parks maze, the walking trail fence was damaged. Was that weather related or vandalism or what?
Vehicle related. A little bit of a hit and run, they took out, 4 posts and a bunch of the boards in between, just where you turn off with, North Street, in on the trail. They decided to remove some for us.
And have those been replaced or is that a spring job?
Spring top. I've talked to our person that supplies for that fence, got everything we needed ordered. But we'll have to wait till the frost comes out to fix it. And our last is our future, what's will be going on here in the next little bit, future.
Anybody have anything else? If not, all in favor? It's carried.
You.
Thanks, George.
The environmental, I think the motion that the environmental manager's report for the session be received.
I'll second it.
That's it. Anything on the report sheet to highlight it?
Good morning, Mayor, Council, members of the public. Just a brief overview. It's been a busy month. Just to go through a couple of items. The asset management level of service document as it is prepared and has been submitted to Ministry of Infrastructure. There's a number of reports that have prepared, which is the next item. We can go through each one individually. The internal audit, infrastructure review, management review, and updates to the operational plan, all of those relating to the drinking water quality management system. We did some annual maintenance, our wastewater plant, flushing of the constructed wetland cells. Partook in the emergency management exercise on December 4th with staff and municipality of Tweed as a joint exercise. And working with consultant Watson Associates to develop the renew the water financial plan as it's a requirement under the municipal drinking water license renewal. And also working on the wastewater rate review with that firm. Had a couple breaks. December 24th, staff made repairs to a leaking 150 millimeter cast iron water main right near the water plant at the intersection of Holly Drive and Elizabeth Street. We don't have any warranty on that pipe. It's from 1932.
Just can't get a good warranty anymore.
Water service repair on December 30th for leaking water service in front of number 1 Woods Drive. And things to look forward to in January and beyond. January 19th, we will be doing a 24-hour flow test on well 7, which will determine the pumping rate that we can set for active production. That production quantity will have to be approved by Ministry of Environment, but we do the pump test first and then submit the report. And first 2 weeks of February, we're going to be installing the 2 ultraviolet light disinfection units at Stirling Water Treatment Plant. just a bit of background, this was a 2025 capital project. We do have the equipment. We're just waiting on the scheduling for the manufacturer. These lights, it's the primary component for disinfecting water at our water treatment facility. The parts have become obsolete, so we can't maintain these units anymore, so we've been forced into some replacement for these. And January, February is always busy with preparing annual reports and data summaries for water, sewer, and stormwater to meet our regulatory compliance. And one other item, it's not on the agenda, we had our annual Ministry of Environment Drinking Water inspection yesterday. It was a surprise inspection, so 1 in every 3 years they do a surprise inspection, so we received that yesterday, and they'll be working on a report. Should probably have a report in roughly about a month.
Questions from Matthew? No. Again, for the public that aren't aware, we are very fortunate to have our own water department. Municipalities our size, third party this service. Which we had previously done, it became very expensive. And we found as a result, our equipment was not really well looked after compared to having it in-house, so thank you. All of this. My 1.6 to leave. The drinking water quality management standard report. That the environmental manager's report for January 13th, 2026 be received and further. That the drinker DWQMS infrastructure review internal audit report and the DWQMS management review for 2025 be presented as presented be received, and that the DWQMS operational plan for the township of Stirling Rawdon drinking water system revised January 16th, 2026 be received and endorsed by council. Can I move for that, please?
I'll move.
All second. Want to speak to that?
Just briefly touch on these documents. So it's an annual requirement under the standard to maintain our license to operate the drinking water facility that we conduct a internal audit report. That we have a operational plan, which is the overview of the system and how the municipality conforms to the required 21 elements or the drinking water standard. The management review is also a requirement where the management rep, the CAO, and myself, top management, discuss all of the if there's any compliance issues, if there's any conformance issues, and reviewing all those elements to maintain compliance. The infrastructure review, as it states, it's a review of the infrastructure, the state of the infrastructure, and how it relates to risk and risk assessment. So these are all requirements, and the operational plan, we've had to make some changes with that as we've had changes to staff and changes to the process with the recent decommissioning of well 5. So we had to make some administrative changes to that. Questions?
This report, once it's passed by council, it will be posted to members. That's right.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants information, get any water quality and history events and so on, it's very informative. The only issue we still have really has reoccurring is the high sediment, which is really not that high, but it is below the very days above the national parking lot. So. All in favor? Thank you. All right, 8.7. That the environmental manager's report entitled "The Dissolution Center at South Hastings Waste Service Board" be received, and further that the township of Stirling Rawdon share the rebate related to this dissolution of the Center at South Hastings Waste Service Board in the amount of $43,550.84 be allocated to reserve waste service. Move for that.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any questions from that? All in favor? Never turn down money. Just put in by you, motion that the economic development officers report for December 2025 be received.
I'll move.
I'll second it. You're on, Michelle.
Good morning, Mayor, Council, and members of the public. So December was a busy month. We had the Stirling Santa Claus Parade. That was held on Friday, December the 5th at 6:30. We had a great turnout throughout the entire route. There was about 48 floats in total that were in the parade. Shelby Grant, the MP, and Rick Pussy, the MPP, were there, and representatives from the Stirling Rawdon area participated, as well as many local businesses and community groups. The Springbrook Santa Claus Parade, it was planned for Sunday, December the 7th at 3. Due to weather conditions and potential safety concerns, it was canceled. They had a new business grand opening. Members of council and staff attended the opening of a spa of feathers and fur on December the 12th at 12 p.m. with a ribbon cutting ceremony. A representative from the MP and MPP offices were there. Hastings County, the warden, as well as Councillor Smith were also in attendance. The business is located at 10 West Front Street in Stirling, and it has been open since mid-November and offers a variety of pet grooming services, and they employ 4 staff. Santa at the library. We had this annual event, Santa in the Village. It was held on December the 12th from 10 to 1 a.m. Santa had about 40 children come for a visit and a chat and to have pictures taken. Parents and children had hot chocolate and treats, and they were able to chat with members of council and staff that were also there to assist Santa. The library staff had the room well decorated, and after their visit, the children's library hosted crafts with kids. We had a staff appreciation and seasonal luncheon. That was held on Friday, December the 19th from 1 to 3 at the Rotary train station. A hot lunch with service awards were presented to show off staff council appreciation for their hard work and dedicated service. And our upcoming events for this month, we're meeting with Starboard Communications on January 7th to arrange for the annual advertising promotion to shop Stirling Rawdon. This is an ongoing promotion that helps promote all businesses that sign up throughout the township. We had Christmas tree pickup on January 8th, and we'll be attending the BIA meeting on Thursday, January 22nd at 6 p.m.
Any questions? It's Marnie Babs, is it?
Yes,
She will be contacting the businesses.
She will. Yes. Yeah, and I'll send out an email as well to everybody with the program.
Well, I thank you for the Christmas parade that went very well. It was unfortunate on both the spring, but they were safe and sorry. I think that was a miserable day. Any further questions? All in favor? Here. Okay, now we're in special events, so from on the floor. So the report proceeded, we put it entitled the special events policy received and further. That the special events policy as presented be adopted. I can move for that, please. Move you all aboard. Seconder.
Second.
All right, I will let Bacon speak to this.
Thank you, Mayor Mullen, through to you and all of council and the public. This report is to present the special events policy, which aims to establish guidelines and requirements for the management of special events within the township. In the absence of a previous policy, this policy outlines the expectations, rules, and responsibilities of special event organizers and operators who are planning and operating special events taking place on township property, and those that impact municipal services, while also providing awareness to municipal staff of these planned community events. It ensures safety of residents, event participants, and public assets, provides the municipality with risk mitigation measures while ensuring compliance with applicable laws and regulations and alignment with the township strategic plan. It's important to note that the municipality will itself be required to submit a special event permit application when organizing and hosting a special event. and that there's no fee required to submit an application, as most municipalities require. However, there is cost recovery should any township resources be required. This policy has been circulated to all municipal departments, providing an opportunity for review and comment. We also intend to review this policy in a year in order to make any necessary amendments noted while put into practice over the next year if approved. And just in response to the comments received by the public, the requirement for liability insurance is best practice for most municipalities in Ontario when undertaking special events. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from members?
So the group that's putting on this event has to have at least a $2 million liability. With last name drop, that's,
Yeah, that is best
and
practice.
we're still covering things under that as well. Because we have to insure them as well.
Just to, so with regards to insurance for special events, we're outside agencies, so usually with large clubs, so such as the Lions Club and things like that, they usually have their own insurance that can cover these types of events. If there are individuals that have not got that insurance, then we've reached out to the insurance company because there is a special events policy that the township can take, which basically we just become the administrator of it. So, and those policies are relatively reasonably achievable and easy to make application for. We haven't had that here in Stirling Rawdon at this point in time, but many municipalities have that. So we are taking a look to make sure that that is in place. But what would happen if there was an incident is that it would go through that policy first and then it would come to the townships. So it protects the township from most legal issues that might come forward. But again, we'll look at a special events policy that's going to be easily affordable and attainable for anybody that is making application to have a special event.
One article that's come up for the last year or so in regards to these events is no closures. And I think what we've encountered is the fact that people, or it's set up so everybody can hear me. Is the people involved in managing these closures have to have some kind of a training? And I think what we have encountered a couple of times is where the group that's having the event don't have that type of a person. And in order to get that, sometimes it's very short notice. It's almost impossible for them to do that. So I know we do have one or two on staff that have that credential. I'm wondering, would it be worth our while to look into possibly staff that are interested in doing that? Have them accredited for that particular issue. And consequently, if there's a cost involved, maybe we can share it with the group. Or I'm not really sure that's something maybe we should have to discuss.
We have a cost recovery that is necessary.
Okay,
It's part of the policy.
Through the mayor to Councillor Stewart. So as the policy is written right now, the requirement is for staff to install that regulatory signage for any road closure. Unless proof of completion of that book of 7 training. Provided to the satisfaction of the public works manager. And that's just for the liability aspect of it.
okay.
And then subject to that, there's cost recovery clauses. And so
Well, that answers my question. Thank you.
Are there any further questions?
No, obviously, with the cost recovery plan, we can also waive that if we wanted to, if they come back and request a vote.
Okay, as this is the first time this policy is put together, I guess as they created, there will be changes as needed. It's a live and learn type policy as all ours. All in favor of passing with this time?
Just before you say it, Donna, does that answer your question that you brought up?
To some degree, yes.
Is there anything else you would like to address before we?
There may be other
event organizers that would like to speak, so.
It's just, I know there's a lot of words happening in there and like, it's kind of hard to understand everything. I just wonder if you could like highlight the major changes, like as to the before method, like approaching council and requesting that way. Like, I know you fill out the form, but is anything like, is there any significant changes or anything that's really different? Could you highlight those, just like, because I imagine that's why something.
So previously, you're correct, is that there was a presentation that came to council, and it was pretty my time, but just from what I've seen. The reason that we're doing this is through an application process, is it really, at the end of the day, it's the administrative, it's the staff that really need to find out what the event is and make sure that things, we've really checked with everything, so that's why we're doing the application this way. The application will come into the office and it'll be circulated through each of the different departments to make sure that we have staff available, to make sure that we've got insurance coverage and anything else that might be required. And then again, as indicated, if there is a waiver or something that's being requested, we come back to council, but the actual event needs to be administered by our staff. So that's why it's being done a little bit differently, but we also want to make sure is that anybody that is doing an event is you have the opportunity to make sure that, council is aware of the events and to make sure that we're trying to help promote the events as well. So we're not trying to, take that away from coming to council so you can say we're going to have this blah, 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 and then hoping to attract a number of people. We still want that to happen. It's just in order for us to cross the, the T's and dot the I's is to make sure that we go through and make sure everybody is aware. The other thing it puts on our calendar as well is that the event's coming. And then, Michelle can make sure that she's also promoting it as well and making sure that the community and other people are aware. So that's the reason we've done this. We have to make it a little bit more regulated.
So I see, it's at least 60 days, or 2 months prior to the event. We were unaware of this new policy, so we have organized Hogfest that's at the end of the month, which is really just a couple weeks away. So we'll fill out this form, but we've already made it public, so we plan on going ahead with this, but I will fill out the form. There is no road closure per se. Most of the events are happening in the locations of the service groups, theater, and the curling club, outside of the parking lot at the United Church, which we have gotten approval for usage. So outside of this form, there is no other requirements from us to proceed.
Sorry, and that's Rotary is?
No, this is a collaboration. I chair the committee. It's collaboration of the Lions, the Rotary, the theater, the Legion, and the curling club. And we've planned out a weekend, Friday to Sunday, starting January 30th to February 1st, of events for the public and the family.
No, the intent is not to pull any events back. It's sort of the documentation to make. It's all driven by liabilities. So if you want to get down with them. So more information that's on record, if anything goes wrong, it's all recorded, gonna follow up. And we're certainly more happy that you're doing these events. Encourage you groups to continue.
And just for clarification, so this application would really only be for events happening on township property?
Correct, like by virtue of
Just anything that involves.
or those that impact municipal operations for services.
There is a phrase in there, I believe, but the number of people that the event involves just.
250.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's a traffic issue or something, because we need to be aware of people.
Mr. Mayor, it's a public event or an event that's being held on private property that is large in nature. So I'm thinking of in this area in particular, there's jamborees. Those types of events, even though they're being held on private property, we need to know about. So they are also subject to this policy. And the reason for that is because there could be other potential like things that go with it or things that we need to make sure we're aware of. So even though it's on private property, it can still affect traffic or potentially garbage, or if there's weather events or anything like that, it's better for us to be aware. So that was the other reason that we're asking for that. We're not saying that they can't have it, we're just saying that if we are aware, there might be some other instances, so large events with that have gone through might need the liquor license, the HSCO applications, depending on, especially with jamborees and things, that might need ambulance services that need to be, there's different types of services depending on the size of the events. So that's why I'm asking that the private large events also be making application as well, so we can ensure that we have everything in mind.
Sharon, did you have a question?
Just following up on what Shelley is saying there, so how are you going to notify all organizations that their event isn't even on township Stirling Rawdon property, but could be affecting, like, will you be notifying them, or is it they go ahead and have their event and then get in trouble afterwards, or?
I think what we're doing, this is again, as Becky's indicated, is that this is our first year. So I think what we're gonna do is just go through the process and try and make sure that we try and cover as many. It'll become clear to everybody. We will notify them as well. Michelle has the events that have gone on in previous years. So, I mean, we can always reach out to whoever the organizers have been to try and make sure that they're aware and help them with any applications. So we will work with everybody in the upcoming years. We are not intending to make this something to punish anyone. It is more to be proactive so that we are ready for the events and make sure that the events go smoothly. And again, the other part that you mentioned as well is to do the promotions as well for the event. So I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of this event that you're talking about that's coming up. And so that's really good news. Right, and we want to know with the township, we've got a following, so we want to make sure that those events are advertised and the public is aware, and that we can help support whatever the events are so that they go again more smoothly, and try to mitigate any kind of liability to make sure that we do have signage, etc., traffic control in place, so we don't have even notifying the police, that there are these events going on will help us in the future and help the event go more smoothly. No.
Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Okay, like I say, this is the first run through. If we run into issues, we will correct as we proceed.
And just to add to that, I mean, certainly the BIA meetings, if there's any concerns that come up, bring it up at the BIA meeting. I'll make sure that it gets directly back if you don't want to communicate directly. That's partly what we want to do. That's
Okay, 9.1, the minutes of the Lower Trent Conservation Authority Board. The Source Protection Authority meeting held on November 13th, 2025. Will proceed for that, please.
I mean.
Okay.
not yourself, but
All in favor? There. The Quinny Conservation Board resolution in response to the ERO 025-1257 regarding the proposed regional consolidation of Ontario's conservation authorities to be received. Move for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
I think everyone on the council is aware of what the province is proposing. It has gone over very poorly, and that's an understatement. With most of the conservation authorities, it's going to affect us quite significantly if they proceed, so. Stirling, along with many other organizations, has put out letters of resolution to the province to have to re-examine what's being proposed. All of them. Yeah. 8.3, the minutes of the Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance EOTA Board meetings held on October 9th, 2025, and November 13th, 2025. You received.
I'll second.
Jeremy, you want that votes, you want to speak, please do.
A lot of discussions about the maintenance of the trails and where money is being spent. And then the big discussion with District 2 and 3 of the old FFC. And we got an agreement in place for 6 months with them. So they can get their trails through about the winter. They were looking for exclusive use of the trails. And we wouldn't agree upon it, so usually all use trails, so. We just asked the ATVs to respect what they do have approved.
Any questions on that? that was quite some time coming, that agreement. I think that it's very important. But that's been completed. All in favor? All right. 9.4, the patrol report from November 2025 from Pierce Animal Control be received. And that was seconded.
Well, second.
All in favor? 9.5, the Community Archives in Belleville and Hastings County. Report. Newly guide archives for January be received. Second. All in favor? One. Bylaw. 01. One year. 2026 being a bylaw to establish a council vacancy appointment process policy for the township of Stirling Rawdon be read and passed on the 13th day of January 2026.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor? 10.2, that bylaw 02, 2026 being a bylaw to establish a non-union compensation administrative policy for the township of Stirling Rawdon and to bylaw 6524 be read and passed on this 13th day of January 2026. Move for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. 10.3, the bylaw 0326 being a bylaw to establish a recruitment policy for the township of Stirling Rawdon to repeal bylaw 2922. Bylaw 1347-20 be read and passed on this 13th day of January 2026. Over for that, please.
I'll second it.
All in favor? No notices of motion at this time. Before I ask for a motion to go into closed, I would like to thank all the applicants that applied for this position. For any of those that are thinking of joining the council in the future, that I really appreciate your interest and think it's something that everybody in the community should get involved in and participate in. Thank you again. We will make our announcements at the end of the close. I need a motion that pursuant to section 239(2)(b) and C of Municipal Act 2021. Council now convenes in a closed session at 11:05. And to address the following items: personal matters about the identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees pertaining to the council vacancy, appointment and staffing matters. C, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land of municipality or local board pertaining to clean waste property as part of the dissolution of the clean, etc. And so Hastings. Move over that, please.
I'll move.
Second.
Second.